So, I am testing a chocolate gingerbread recipe. Hello guys, I'm testing out a recipe. Let's hope it comes out pretty good. Let's go ahead and get started. So I've got the dry ingredients. I've got spelt flour and almond flour. That's what I've got in my bowl here, and we're just going to start with the dry ingredients. So to that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of extra dark cocoa powder. It's extra rich, and it's going to add some nice flavor to our gingerbread, right? Okay, and then I'm going to add a pinch of sea salt. Then let's add the leavening. Okay. So I'm going to add in just a little bit of baking powder, a little bit of baking soda. You guys know that I don't like to use a lot of leavening. That's just the way that I am. But we're going to add in enough to make the cake rise nicely. And yeah, so we're just mixing the dry ingredients together. We're going to mix this to the wet ingredients. And I've got on an apron today because you guys know how I like to make a mess in the kitchen and my clothes just suffer horribly. So yeah, I am still working on a video for Israel that I'm going to put up on the channel very soon. Oh my goodness, guys, when you stayed at the hotels and it was time for dinner or breakfast, the spreads were just unbelievable. There was so much food, and the food was just so good. There were so many choices, just depending on what your dietary preferences were. When we went out for lunch, it was a little more limited. I ended up eating a lot of falafels, but they were good. They were so good, and I will watch how they made them, and they were so crispy, and then they had the veggies. It was so good. Okay, so now I'm going to add in a blend of spices here. I've got some allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. Don't worry, I'm going to put the measurements for all of this at the bottom. So we're just going to continue to make this like we're making a, a traditional gingerbread cake or loaf, but we're just adding chocolate to it, just to kind of bump up the flavors just a bit. Let's go ahead and add our wet ingredients. I'm going to add some applesauce. Don't worry, all the measurements will be in the description box for you guys. I'm going to add some, this is a mix of agave and maple syrup. You can use maple syrup or agave, whichever you choose. Just put that in there. Let me get out as much of this as possible because we want this, we want all the sweetness, okay, in these muffins, or these cupcakes rather. We're gonna go ahead and add some molasses. Oh, look at that. And I try to get my molasses as natural as possible. Most of the molasses, most of the molasses you find in the store are pretty natural. Molasses is so good. Okay, I'm going to throw in a little bit of vanilla extract, about a teaspoon or 2, depending on how you like it. Just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, just to make it a little bit more fluffy. So let's just go ahead and just mix all our wet ingredients together. Guys, the holidays are here, and I'm excited. Let's go ahead and add the dry to the wet. Okay, just mix this all together here. And you want to use a whisk for this, just so everything is combined nicely. Okay, and then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of water. Together here. Alrighty, make sure it's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take out my muffin liners, and we're just gonna go ahead and line these. I've got the oven preheated, and we're gonna bake these about 22 minutes or so. Last but not least, I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch. Like I said, I'm testing this recipe out, seeing how it's going to work. If something doesn't look right, the mixture doesn't look good to me, I just add more. Alright, so going in the oven. So these are oil-free. The applesauce and the molasses help out a lot with that. Also adding the almond flour gives it a little bit more moisture. So hopefully this recipe works oil-free, and that'll be, you know, it'll be convenient for you guys who are trying to cut down on fat and oil and things of that nature. Not that I'm against oil 100%, because I'm not, but I do try to make a lot of recipes that are oil-free, because that way you can keep how much oil you actually intake under control, because we know that just today, in today's society, everything is so overly saturated with oil, sugar, and so being able to limit that and kind of work it out where you can, where you're not overdoing it, that's very convenient. Like, for some reason, like a lot of times I get gifts despite people knowing I don't eat a certain way. They'll give me like regular, you know, food and things of that nature, and I know that they don't mean anything by it, but it's just like, it made me realize how much people don't understand how much what you eat affects how you feel, and they just think, oh, it's just something you prefer not to have. But for some people, their diet is a matter of life or death, and that's why I do this channel for you guys, so people who cannot eat certain foods, or people who bodies need healing, they can have resources to cook foods that they like without the foods harming them. Anyways, that's enough of my speech. I will see you guys in a little bit.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh.
All right, guys, the cupcakes are done, and it turns out they look pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and take off my apron now, and we're gonna taste test one of these, of course. So I just made a quick little frosting with date syrup and cocoa powder. That's it. I didn't measure it, so kind of just eyeball it until you get the consistency that you want. So let's go ahead and taste one. Oop. All right, let's frost it. I don't want to be too messy with it. So. Oh yeah. Guys, I'm ready to taste this. Ready? I can't believe this turned out so good. It's moist. You get the flavors of chocolate and gingerbread. Guys, you gotta try this Christmas recipe. I promise you, you're going to love it. It's totally a whole food plant-based recipe, so if you're WFP, if you're whole food plant-based, or if you're just healthier, whatever your dietary preferences is, this is a really good healthy dessert for Christmas time. So I will see you guys again very soon, and until next time, saying plenty of Christmas carols, go to Christmas services at church, bake as many Christmas desserts as you like, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye. Wow, this is good. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Chocolate and gingerbread are two of my favorite things. I gotta frost the rest of these. Oh my goodness. This frosting is it's a winner. I never thought that you could make a chocolate frosting this simple without chocolate chips, because I've been kind of in between chocolate chips lately, so it was good that I didn't have to use any in this recipe. I'm just gonna do the best that I can here. Not the best at frosting, but it's just so glossy. You get that glossiness without using coconut oil or butter or anything like that. I think that's pretty cool.